Hello, everybody. I know I'm a little bit late here. It's 6:07. Told everyone I'd be on at 6. Got out of work and got on as soon as I could. Just wanted to talk a little bit about kind of my overall experiences with ayahuasca and San Pedro down in Peru. I touched upon it a little bit last week, but wanted to go into more detail and kind of give you the full story and rundown of what brought me to Peru, um, and kind of share my story. So, mentioned last week, I had met a guy named Ali, who is a pretty avid world traveler. Has a blog. It's called humanpowered360.com. If anybody wants to follow it, I'll be sure to drop the link and do a little shout out to Ali. Let him know that he inspired me to go down to Peru and go on a spiritual retreat and kind of have the ayahuasca and San Pedro experience. Um, I got down there, flew into Cusco, Peru, and I met a spiritual guide named Joel. And while I was there, got taken to extremely remote village out about an hour and a half to 2 hours outside of Cusco. Um, the village was basically like just maybe about 50, maybe like 70 people. Stayed in the village for about 4 days. Was on the dieta. So one of the things, if you're going to be partaking in an ayahuasca ceremony, they're held at night. And one of the things is you have to follow a pretty strict diet. And basically the diet's just all like fruits or vegetables, water, no like unhealthy food. Later on, I'm gonna post a link to some different diets. There's a couple different choices and options. Not everyone follows the same dieta, but basically what I did was a pretty quicker version of the dieta, and was really just eating bananas and drinking water for a few days before drinking ayahuasca. Um, since coming back from my trip down to Peru back in November, December of last year, I actually became a pescatarian. So I now I eat fish and vegetables, but I just don't eat any meat products anymore. So that's kind of one of the things I took away from my whole ayahuasca experience, was really how important the dieta is, how important eating healthy, taking care of your body, uh, taking care of your mind is. So, um, yeah. So what I did from there was I got to this village and was really just kind of getting in the right mental state, just being all alone in kind of this place where they don't speak Spanish, so really you can't communicate with the villagers very much. They speak a local dialect. It's actually a really really old language that dates back all the way to the Incas, because these people are essentially the descendants of the Incas um, in this region. So they speak this language. It's called like Quechua or Chechua, something like that. And yeah, so it's quite an experience to just be somewhere where you don't know how to say even one word. That's the first time where I didn't even know how to say hello in their language. But just overall, you can tell that the people there just have a similar mindset. They live off the land. They grow all their own vegetables and food. Just extremely self-sufficient and like living in the Andes. I mean, maybe they go into some like bigger communities and trade or sell like blankets and hats and different things that they might make with the alpaca or kind of like the sheep skin down there. But yeah, so it's just very important to kind of always follow the diet. No soda, no candy bars, no meat. Really just like be cautious. That like these people know what they're doing, and they've been doing this for thousands of years down in Peru. So going into the ceremonies, you really want to be serious about it. Follow the dieta that they suggest, and really listen to what they have to say, because the guides and shamans in Peru will really know what they're talking about. They've had a variety of experiences with ayahuasca and San Pedro. They're just they know things that you and I it will take years to acquire the kind of knowledge that these types of people have, or these guys down in Peru have. So yeah, like going into kind of the ceremonies, like I said, the ayahuasca ceremony is held at night, and it's about 5 to 6 hours long. So there's the dieta is part of the preparation, and then what you'll do is like they'll do a whole kind of part of the ceremony is like them kind of casting away any like evil spirits and like any kind of bad vibes in your environment. They're really trying to protect that area and make sure that it's safe, and you're ready, and the environment is ready for you to participate in this ceremony. And they'll light like some candles and kind of like blow some smoke. One of the main things is they have this like flower, kind of like not even like lotion, but it's just like flower water, and they spray it on your hands, and like really you're supposed to like cover yourself kind of with it. You like rub it on your neck, rub it on your arms, rub it on your feet. They have you take off your socks. Like it's basically like just, I don't really know what it's for. Most of this stuff they're just kind of doing while you're going. So I kind of asked all the questions after, and still haven't gotten all the answers, and still haven't. That's another reason why I'm going back, is just to get more information to share with people. One of the things is like none of the culture is really written down. It's all just passed down through generation through either stories or like carvings and artwork. But in terms of like a written language, they don't have that. So people know what the purposes are of all these different things, but I'm just not quite to that level yet. Hoping to get there someday. But yeah, so you'll drink they'll hand you like a full glass of the ayahuasca, and basically hand it to you and have you just drink the entire thing. It's very awful tasting. So, or it's not that bad, but it's not the best. All right, it's not like yeah, it's not too good. So you kind of want to get it over with and just chug it down as fast as possible. It's going to take about 45 minutes for it to start kicking in, or as Joel, the guide, would say, for you to start to feel the connection. So yeah, just plan on kind of about four. Everyone's different. Some might be 30 minutes, some 45, some an hour. What you'll do is you'll drink the medicine and then you'll lay back and basically go to sleep. They'll cover you in blankets. I was getting, you can get like your body temperature fluctuates during the ceremony, so you want to kind of like wear warm clothes, wear like a good pair of socks, cover yourself in the blankets, sit there, wait for a good like 45 minutes, and then you'll start to feel the connection. And about like everyone's different, like I'm saying, about 40 minutes to an hour, depending on the person. One of the things that happens is called purging, and the entire time you have a bucket next to you, and you're most likely, or almost everyone throws up. So you'll puke for, what they told me is what it is you're actually releasing, when you're puking, you're releasing the negative energy from your body. So they'll, like, it's a good thing, and it shouldn't be looked at as like a negative. Obviously no one like enjoys throwing up, but you, in your mind, you should think of it as you're clearing out the negative energy that's inside of you. You're releasing it, you're getting it out of you, and that's gonna happen for, some people it's 10 minutes. Some people, they only throw up once and they're done. Some people have a lot to get out of them, and it'll just sorry, just starting to get some comments in here. Puke for good vibes, Dav. I really like that. Exactly. It takes a little bit, but yeah, it's worth it in the end. So you kind of get through the purging, and for me it was only about, I like to think I'm a pretty pure individual, and I don't have too many dark demons in the closet that I had to let out. So for me, it was really like maybe a 15-minute thing, and then I would get up, kind of dump out the bucket, put it down, and then like go right back to sleep. Getting a comment here from Andrew Artiaga. Going back to Peru in about 3 weeks. What was your diet like if you went on one prior to ceremony? So I kind of covered the diets earlier, Andrew. One of the things is it's really just no meat, water, fruits, vegetables. Some of them include fish, but the one that I did was extremely strict. It was really, I really just did bananas and water for about a good 3 days. But prior to that, kind of knowing that I was going to be going into the ceremony, I'd say I was watching what I was eating and trying to avoid any meat products for a good week prior to the ceremony. But now going back this new time, I'm hoping to purge even less, or have an even better, more positive experience now that I haven't been eating meat in about at that point it'll be almost 2 years. So I think that it really is, I'm telling you, the diet is important. People tell you to follow it for a reason. They're not just blowing smoke. It all means something in these ceremonies, and whatever people tell you, and if they're a legitimate guide, I would take what they have to say and really listen to it. But I purged through yawning, crying, sweating, and shaking, but not through throwing up. It's okay. I opened and purged and released a lot this time around. Nice, Andrew. Nice. No, that's yeah. Hey, it's every time you go, you're gonna get more out. that's how I feel about it, and that's exactly why I'm planning this trip and really trying to go back for more ceremonies. Is I know I participated in two ceremonies, to kind of back to back nights. So I got there. The first night I didn't drink any medicine, was really just getting mentally kind of in the zone. And then the second night I drank ayahuasca. The third night I drank ayahuasca again. And then the fourth day I drank San Pedro, which is a ceremony done during the day. It's actually a cactus that is extremely prevalent in the Andes region of Peru. And what they say is kind of so ayahuasca is kind of like your mother or your grandmother, kind of sending you messages, and then the San Pedro is almost like your father or your grandfather, kind of giving you some different lessons there. Cody White, what's up, buddy? It's good to see you, man. Good to have you here. But yeah, so those are kind of the two different ceremonies. The ayahuasca's at night. San Pedro's during the day. It's a lot longer ceremony. I'd say the ayahuasca's about 6 hours. With San Pedro, it's probably about, I would say for me, the thing, I tend to feel the connection for a lot longer, so I'd say it was about 12 hours, but I've heard like 10 hours, some different kind of time scales on San Pedro. Again, it's similar to ayahuasca. It's a drink, it's a brew, and it does not taste very good, so just plan on kind of drinking it fast and drinking it quick and getting it down and getting it done. That's kind of the way I would suggest doing it. But in terms of kind of the actual experience of ayahuasca, it's pretty intense. It's a 6 hour ceremony, but it's a very intense 6 hours. So if you do have any kind of bad energy, bad spirits, demons inside of you, plan on this bringing them right to the surface, and you're going to have to fight through those demons or those battles inside of you. But that's part of the ceremony, and part of the reason why you should be drinking ayahuasca is to really go and dig deeper into your inner self and learn about yourself and kind of any issues that you do have, and work using kind of the medicines and the environment of Peru to heal yourself and work through any of those past or previous things in your life currently, or even in your previous life. So like they've mentioned stories of like people that have bad like upbringings, like if something happened in kind of like the womb during birth, then people can be born with I was watching this actually, like a podcast on this. People were born with, or there was some kind of a connection where what was it, they had like a problem with their speaking, and they always struggled with it their entire life, kind of like the King's Speech, where they just stutter all the time and have this stuttering problem. And people that have had kind of these powerful experiences, that they never knew why they had this stuttering problem, but scientist was doing some research that had a pretty strong correlation to like a certain week in childbirth that the mother would have an issue, and that would result to the child being born, and as a result having kind of like a speech problem. But people have used like psychedelics, like ayahuasca and San Pedro, and these kind of sacred brews for thousands of years as healing medicines down in Peru and the Amazon. So for them, it's like when you're going to a doctor in like the United States, I mean, they're like, oh yeah, let's write you a prescription. You have such and such problem, da da da, and you go through that kind of a process. Down there it's different. Usually they go to a medicine man or a shaman or spiritual guide before they would go to, even today, like before they would go to a medical doctor or like a hospital, they would go to see the shaman first to try to work through it with the shaman, and then if that doesn't work, maybe some of them are just completely against modern medicine, so going to a hospital or doing anything with any kind of modern surgeries, they just wouldn't even, they'd be against it. So it's kind of like a personal preference thing. But just from Andrew, follow Denver right here, by the way. So we're going back to Peru soon. Do you personally go through retreat center in Peru for these ceremonies? If so, where? Oh yeah, so I personally go to a retreat center. I'm actually partnering with a center in Peru. It's it's in Cusco, based out of Cusco, but they run retreats more like an hour and a half to 2 hours outside of Cusco. So the whole time you'll really be in a remote local village. You wouldn't even be in Cusco. But yeah, so I'm personally going to be planning a trip for. I'm still trying to lock down some dates, but we're looking at. I'm thinking August or September of 2018. So if anyone's interested in coming on a trip down to Cusco or coming to like hike the Inca Trail, people that have no interest in drinking ayahuasca or San Pedro, also feel free to come. Like there's a lot to do in Peru. So it's not all about the ayahuasca and San Pedro. That's one of the reasons of me making this travel Peru group. But I also want people to just experience the culture and what Peru, the country, has to offer. There's different places to go. I can do a whole list of suggestions. I also like have a lot of friends down there now from spending some time down there, where they can help out with like places to stay, things to do, all those kind of questions. Feel free to post them in the group, and we'll do our best to answer them and help point you guys in the right direction. But yeah, so it's also depending on when everyone's available. So I'm gonna be posting something. I'm definitely trying to lock down the dates by the end of this year, so you will know more about the trip and when it's happening and the dates. Definitely, I'm hoping by the end of the year. Right now, I'm really thinking it's gonna be like August, September, or October of 2018, and just haven't picked which month. But as of right now, leaning the most towards Labor Day, like that area. So keep your plans open. If you have any thing planned for Labor Day, I would cancel them and start thinking about Peru. Start getting mentally ready. If you want to do the Inca Trail, I can definitely hook you up with some good people to go on quite an adventure. It's about 4 days, 3 nights, hiking in the Andes Mountains, and then at the end you'll get to Machu Picchu. Just to answer a couple questions here, if you're comfortable answering, what's your biggest mental takeaway or lesson from your experiences? It's really tough, but I think like one of the biggest takeaways I got was there is magic in this world, and magic does exist, and maybe not everything can be explained, but if you believe in it, it can happen. So part of my ayahuasca experience, and this was night one, my first experience ever with ayahuasca. I actually received a message, but like not a someone talking to me per se, but I got like a feeling, and in that feeling, it was really like telling me that this medicine needs to be really like awakened, and the world needs to know about this. Where maybe I'm one of the few that do currently, but this is something that needs to be spread to the entire world, and every nation should have available access to these kind of medicines. So I'm just a really big proponent in these kind of medicines. They've done a lot for me personally. Um, I mean, one of my kind of other experiences is for myself, like when I'm participating in these kind of ceremonies, I'm really connecting with the spirit world and make a connection to like people that have passed away in my life that I was close to. And for me, I mean, it gets very like it's an emotional experience, um, where I mean I've cried many times. Uh, it's like I've gotten out a lot of kind of my sadness, and I've healed a lot through drinking ayahuasca and San Pedro and visiting Peru. I took an extremely vast amount of information out of the experience, and it really took me a while to kind of get it all in one place and get it all together into the thoughts that I wanted to share with everybody. And like over this next year up until the trip, I want to continue to just keep sharing with everybody, answering any kind of questions, just spreading the message of what's going on down in Peru, and really getting it out there to the world. Um, and that's really the mission. So yeah, just don't hesitate to ask any questions. Please drop them in the group. Really want to get the engagement up. Comment, like, share this video, all that kind of fun stuff. You know, the Mark Zuckerberg, he's gonna he's gonna throw us to the bottom of the list. You know, we're not on the news feed. We're not gonna be at the top of the list. It doesn't really meet society's eyes in that kind of light. But I'm hoping that one day, if people like myself keep joining together and we get a lot of like-minded people together, I think we can really make some changes happen. And I think that the more people that come down to Peru, the bigger change we're going to make. And really, it's just about having that experience. Real, I mean, if I could get like every CEO or politician, it's been said before by a lot of people that are proponents of psychedelics, but if you could get those kind of people all down into a room and all share kind of the same experience, I think it would bring a lot of peace to the world. So I'll kind of end it with that. I appreciate everyone joining in. I'm gonna try to do these kind of. I'm not going to commit to anything crazy. I do still work a full-time job and have some other fun going on around Denver, so don't want to be consuming all my life on social media. But I will continue to do these and answer any questions. And again, I appreciate all the support, and thanks everybody for helping out in every way. Just kind of some shout-outs. Really to my spiritual guide Joel and Sharon down in Peru, his wife or girlfriend Sharon, and they actually just had a baby, so that's extremely exciting, and hoping to meet the baby when I go down there in August or September of next year. But yeah, also just want to thank kind of my family and my friends for being there throughout this entire journey, and for everything kind of I've gone through over the years, and it really just helped me through kind of work through any kind of issues that I still have today. And hopefully if anybody has any kind of issues that they want to talk about offline, or feel free to ping me. I'm an open book. So don't hesitate to ask me any questions. Yeah, have no problem kind of getting down in the dirty and answering what you really want to hear. But thanks again. I'm going to get some dinner in me and get some sleep. But hope to continue this. And thanks everyone for watching and joining. Have a good one.